How's it going, everyone? My name's Omer. Welcome back to the 12th edition of That Millwall Podcast, the first in the international break. So, you've got myself and Kai today. How you doing, Kai? You all right?
Yeah, very good, thank you, mate. Looking forward to talking about our latest signing.
That's it. Yeah, we're doing this obviously the day after transfer deadline day. What we're going to do today is we're going to review as a whole our transfer window, whilst giving obviously our thoughts on the signing of Sheyi Ojo yesterday and also the departure of Marlon Romeo. But we will also have on part number two just kind of a review of the last 5 games in the league and also the 2 cup games, just give our general sort of view about how we feel we're at and how we're going to target the next few games for the next international break. So without further ado, we're going straight to part number 1 right now. And welcome to the first part of the show. Kai, you mentioned it in the intro there, mate. Talk about our new signing. Sheyi Ojo joins on loan from Liverpool. Bit out of the blue, wasn't it, mate? But just obviously, what's your thoughts initially about signing the winger / attacking player, I guess?
I think it's a really good signing. I was getting a bit worried there last night. The longer it ticked on, it gets a little bit nerve wracking seeing if we're actually going to bring someone in. Then the news broke that Ojo, we're working on a deal for Ojo, which I thought would be a really good sign. Obviously, it got completed, so it is a really good signing. Did well at Cardiff last year. I think he scored 5 goals for Cardiff, and 6 or 7 assists, about something like that. He's a good player. Didn't actually score after Mick McCarthy came in because that was his last sort of games under Neil Harris. Then Mick McCarthy came in. I don't think he featured too much under Mick McCarthy. Obviously, they had Harry Wilson and players like that. But yeah, he's a really good signing. Gives us a bit more pace. And with Bennett coming back after the international break, it gives us really nice bit of alternatives there with Ojo and Bennett. Gives us a lot of forward options now. Just I still think maybe one striker short, but yeah, I'm pleased overall.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I agree with you as well. I mean, I'm just looking at his statistics. Obviously, I think a lot of people probably would have checked his Wikipedia page by now, but obviously he's had a few loan spells. Been a Liverpool player since the 2014 season. I think that's when he first signed his professional deal. Originally started at MK Dons as a kid, then went to Liverpool as a youth player. I think obviously Liverpool went through a stage of signing a lot of youth players from a lot of clubs, including Millwall at the time. I'm thinking the likes of Yusuf Merson, David Amu, players people might remember. He's been at Liverpool since 2015 as a pro, signed for Wigan on loan. He's been at Wolves, been at Fulham, he's been to Reims in France, been to Rangers, and then obviously last year, like you said, at Cardiff City, playing 41 times and 5 goals. I mean, I agree with you there, mate. He's got good championship pedigree, still only 24 years old, I think it is. He's obviously been around the block, but I think it could be, hopefully, we find a home for him here at the Den. Obviously, it's a loan, which is obviously quite a negative, if you depends how you look at it, Kai. But, I think for him, he's probably going to think to himself, maybe it's a chance to settle down at the club, and you never know, could become a permanent deal in the future, maybe.
Yeah, I think I saw something where that Liverpool were hoping to sell him this summer for about, I think it was 5 million. I saw an article yesterday from a couple of months ago. I was looking at it when it looked like we were going to sign him. So you never know. Next year, with another year left, with another year moving on from his contract, I don't know how many years he's got left at Liverpool. But if he does really well at the Den this year, then hopefully next year we might be able to sign him on a permanent deal. But yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased overall. He looks a bit more direct than our current options, and he looks a good player.
I think the fee rumoured to be for him in 2011, was rumoured to be about a £2 million deal for a 14-year-old. I mean, it's quite a lot of money, isn't it? I know we've obviously had something similar with that. Is it Elozozi at Man City?
Yeah.
Apparently, obviously, he was the player that left us like a year or so ago now, and obviously went to Man City and was on their bench and it started the season. But it's a lot of money, obviously, and he's obviously really highly anticipated Liverpool because it's not only just he's been there for X amount of years, he's been there 6-7 years, and you mentioned it there, but 6-7 years as a pro, I imagine he might have got a 3-year deal when he first started, he maybe signed a 2-year deal after that, and maybe a 2-year deal after that. They don't just keep players for no reason, and I know obviously you could say Premier Clubs stock players up and they have loads of youngsters that go out on loan everywhere, but for him to continue to get new deals, they obviously see something in him at Liverpool that made them think, there's a player in there, I feel like.
Yeah, otherwise they would have just released him, wouldn't they, by now, and or just sold him for a couple million instead if they wanted 5. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they haven't done that, which is positive. They obviously think that maybe they can keep him going and hopefully progress him. He did well at Cardiff last year. I remember seeing him against Preston. I watched the highlights last night of him, but a little highlight clip of him. But I do remember him against Preston last year that he took on a couple of defenders. I remember that he should have passed. He could have passed. Looked like he was going to pass, and then hit one into the roof of the net. So he's good on the counter. Looks good the way we want to play him. Can we play him Do we play him up top with a Phobie and play Jed in behind, or do we play him in behind? There's a couple of, or do we change the system? That's the question now. Where do we play him? But wherever we do, hopefully we can get the best out of him.
You make a good point about the system. I mean, we saw 5 at the back against Blackpool. I keep saying 5. It's technically 3 central defenders and 2 wing backs bombing on. I think that'll probably stay. I think some people were thinking, could Ojo be this player that plays on the right side as a wing back? I don't think that'll be the option. I think he'll be just, one of them players that plays anywhere in the 3. Maybe perhaps if Ree was to go kind of more attacking as well from midfield, he could probably be one of them options. I'm thinking if we play 5-3-2, where we've seen Saville playing kind of behind the strikers, it could easily be Ojo that plays there, He obviously has that intention to run at teams, cause issues. So I have to wait and see with that one. I agree with you, mate. I think it's just up to Rout now, isn't it, to fit him into the system. You've got Bennett, Ojo, Wallace, Mahoney. I'm sure I'm missing someone else out in that kind of position. But, there's players there that obviously can make a real difference in this side.
Yeah, and it could even be the case that if he is going to stick with this 5-3-2 formation, he could almost push Saville back into sort of the 2 behind. Maybe Saville and Leonard, or Saville and Keith Beld. In that 2, Saville, Evans, whatever, and then play Ojo in behind a Phobie and Jed, or a Phobie and Bennett. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility now, whereas before we didn't have that flexibility. With Ojo and Bennett coming back, you can afford to maybe rest a player every so often. If Jed's looking tired, we probably could rest Jed, play Ojo and Bennett up, Ojo in behind Bennett and a Phobie, or vice versa. So it gives us the ability now to be able to rest more players, which is really important, I think. And it allows people to be more fresh all the time.
I agree with you. And I think I've seen him play a handful of times. I can't pretend to know too much about him, but when doing these videos after games, when we're drawing against Blackburn and we should have really put him to the sword. The same with Blackpool on Saturday. We won 2-1, but stumbled over the line. I feel like he could be that something different that I feel like I've been saying in the last few episodes, Kai. That player could, run at teams, cause the problems. Obviously, Mahoney's not really fancied by the manager, but that could change. Obviously, after his performance on Saturday when he came on and impressed. But I think it's obviously just it's a natural kind of thing where we've got another option now, and hopefully it can be used to break down teams when we need them.
Yeah, that's what the sort of player you want. You want a player that's going to cause havoc, and one of them players that sort of gets in the box and causes problems, because that's when they get brought down for penalties and stuff, and that's when you get your chances. So really pleased. Him, Jed, Bennett, Phobie, Mahoney, they're all really good options. Really pleased, and I think that probably rounds off quite a good summer transfer window.
Yeah, you'll round out for me there, obviously, mate. But we'll talk about one more thing from yesterday. A few outgoings. Obviously, Alex Mitchell went on loan to Leyton Orient. Great to see him go to League 2 team. Kenny Jackett, obviously, being ex-Millwall manager. I think he'll suit him to the ground there. No nonsense defending will kind of suit him there. And I think Jackett's that kind of person that gets the best out of players like that. And obviously, hopefully, we'll nurture him along on a loan deal, and it could be mutually beneficial for us. Tanto's gone back to Sutton United. Isaac Alafe. Obviously, we said that he was probably going to go out on loan. We did it off kind of, people said maybe League One, but maybe obviously, it's still a step up for him going from Conference to the Championship, to League 2, Sutton United, albeit in a team that might be struggling this year. And the third one was obviously Marlon Romeo departing to go to Portsmouth. So obviously, talk about the youngsters, but let's start with Marlon Romeo and what you think about him departing.
It's weird one with Marlon, because we had so many good years with Marlon Romeo, didn't we? He was always our first choice right back, and him and Jed used to link up so well down the right hand side, and Danny McNamara came in January and just completely changed it, really, didn't he? He's really pushed Marlon out of the team and managed to keep him out of the team as well. So Danny McNamara's done really, really well, and I think he'll be he's now our right back. He's out. I know he's out for a couple more weeks, but probably see Leonard or Billy fill in there while we're waiting for Danny to come back. I saw a piece with Nose Den today saying that Rowett saying that Marlon left because of a lack of game time, which is could be questioned because of the fact that he could have played while Danny was out. So I don't know. I think I don't know. I've got no idea, but it could be more of a mutual thing, I think, and probably suits both parties, doesn't it? This move, even though it is after how good Marlon was a couple of years ago with Jed on the right, it's probably the one that probably suits all parties. With Alex Mitchell and Isaac Olaf, I think it's good moves both of them. Alex Mitchell link up with Kenny Jackett, which is a great one, and obviously Olaf goes back to Sutton. Hopefully, can help him improve their form a little bit.
It's a sad end for Romeo. I mean, I'm looking at his statistics here, mate. 200 plus games for Millwall. burst onto the scene at Walsall Way. I remember being there. He plays right back. We signed him after being at Gillingham, I believe. He was a 23s player, went through our 23s team, impressed, and obviously Harris then brings him into the matchday squad. We played Walsall Way. We win 3-0. I think Gregory scores 1 that day, maybe 2, and Romeo scores a goal where he cuts in from the right, marauders his way through, and since that moment, never looked back at his Mill career. And at times, obviously was part of the team that then lost the playoff final, then came back the year after and was part of the team that won the playoff final, got promoted to the championship, and he was on a real high. Probably getting linked to teams that maybe people thinking, could be one of the best right backs in the league on his day. And it's just sadly come to a little bit of a stale end. But, he's still young enough, isn't he, to kind of go out elsewhere, 25, 26 years of age, and obviously find a home somewhere else, I think. And it's a sad end because obviously, a lot of people know about the off-field stuff, and it's really tarnished his reputation, but you can't doubt what he's offered to this side whilst he's been here for, 5-6 years now.
Yeah, up until obviously end of last year, I always thought of Marlon. Well, still do. Thing is, it's a strange one with Marlon because the as you said, the service he's offered to this club has been brilliant. He's absolutely fantastic. He's been absolutely fantastic for this club, and even when called upon, when Danny was out or replaced with Danny, I thought it was fantastic with them two because they always used to give you a little bit more of a bit of different dimension, I guess. And they're both really, really good competition for each other. So obviously up until the start of end of last year, when the off-field things happened, he was always a really good settled player in this squad. It's sad to see him go. I think it's really sad to see him go and not be able to continue with us. But hopefully he does well this year. Hopefully he does well this season at Pompey. But I think it's only a loan, isn't it? So there is potential that he could return at the end of the season, I guess.
He's only got 1 year left on his deal, though, I think. I might be mistaken. Yeah, and also I think it's just a kind of natural ending. A player maybe sometimes outstays their welcome at a club, not even for reasons that we're talking about. But I think also he's been here for so long. There was a stage though where I'm thinking back when he had Colin McLaughlin to rival him and Sean Cummins. He was the first right back for everyone. Everyone would say it's a bit like how we say the team now, and we'll go Cooper, Hutchinson. Do you know what I mean? Like these two will always be. And 3 or 4 years ago, and up until probably since Danny Matt, really, it'll be Cooper, Hutch, Romeo, and who plays left back? Then Malone. Do you know what I mean? Like Romeo would always be in that team, wouldn't he? And it's like I said, it's a shame that he's gone the way he's gone, but what can you do about it, mate? I thought what we could do though is rate our transfer window out of 10. So I'll read out some tweets because I think Mickey done a poll yesterday, so we might as well get use out of that. Rate Mill's transfer window out of 10. Steve Selby says 7. I would have kept Alafe and either Muller or Alex Mitchell, as both have been both a lot better than Pearce. Plus, of course, Jed is still here. Aside from that, we have done well on our budget. Shame Welling didn't come in for Bod. I mean, Welling's probably about the level of Bodfast and Just, I'd say. We've also got, it's a 4 from Millwall Mickey. Let's give Ojo a chance. Rowett really needs to look at himself and think this level is too high for him. Interesting. 5 from Bermondsey Bill. 6 from MFC Gav. 8 from Rob Morgan. A -5 from David. 374752565. A 5 from Matt Joy. 7/8 from Josh. 8 from Simon, Mr. Hedgepig, saying improve the quality of the starting 11 with Ballard, Malone, Saville, Afobe and Ojo. Kept Jed and Cooper. Does Rowett now see Jed as the attacking midfielder to lead the forwards and take the handbrake off this team? Real mix, mate. But I think the general consensus is in a range of between 6 and 8 of a transfer window. What do you reckon for yourself as a whole?
I'd go with a 7. I think good incomings. Ballard, Afobe, Saville, Malone, obviously Ojo, Long, all really good signings. I don't know if I missed anyone out there. Obviously outgoings were probably necessary. Ferguson, Williams, probably their time has sort of come to an end at this club, hasn't it? Obviously the other ones, Alex Mitchell and Olaf, obviously good to get them out on loan and get them experience. Obviously Marlon went, we've just touched on, which is obviously disappointing to see after of a great servant to the club he was. Obviously, but as we said, it probably suits both parties well. I'd say it's probably about 7. I'm pretty pleased. I looked at the names that we brought in earlier compared to the names that we lost, and I think we've improved the squad.
That's it. And I mean, if we rewind back to our close season shows before we signed anyone, and we're talking about Jed not signing that contract, we all said like we need a bit of kind of stardust in this team, so to speak. Someone to make something happen. I look at Ojo and I think he could be a creative player. I look at Phoebe. He was at number 9 that we've all been calling for. He's obviously got 2 goals so far, which we'll talk about in the second part of the show as a last 5-game review. And obviously Saville coming back wins a lot of fans over. He's flattered to the sea for some, but obviously we know what Saville's capable of. And as you mentioned, Malone committing to a permanent deal, Long becoming that kind of competition back up for Fielding, who left, and then obviously having Bielkowski there with Long, and obviously Ballard's been a great sign as well. And I think 7 out of 10 is probably a fair reflection. I do think we probably could have done more in the sense of moving players out. Obviously, Budvarson's still here, Thompson's still here, who I'm not complaining about Thompson being here because we know what he offers when he plays. But I think of Budvarson, Bradshaw, Thompson, these are players that I think, even Mahoney, I think the manager, if he had a chance to move him out and replace him, I think he might have done. So, but you can't do so many changes in one window. I mean, look at Ipswich in League One. I think they signed 19 players this year. I mean, it's a lot of players.
And they're bottom of the league.
Yeah, they're throwing money at it. And I think they even signed Sam Morsey yesterday on a 3-year deal. I'm thinking, I know they've got Ed Sheeran as their sponsor now, but Sam Morsey, 3-year deal. Morsey's an unbelievable player. I'd take him at Millwall, even with our 6 midfielders. I'd add a 7th in there with him. But you're thinking, it's sometimes you can't do too many changes at once, can you, Kai? And I think as a whole, like you say, 7 out of 10, I think that is a fair reflection of the window.
Definitely, and 20 for Ipswich if you count Ed Sheeran, who's number 17 for them. Let's see what he offers for them this year. We'll have to see, won't we? No, good window. Phobe's a fantastic signing. He's worked so hard recently, and he's got the fans on side. I think see the applause that he gets every game when he plays is brilliant. I think he's works really hard, and he looks really dangerous when he gets on the ball as well. So yeah, I'm pleased with the window.
Yeah, and whilst it is 3 loans with Ballard, Phoebe, and Ojo, I look at all 3 and call me crazy, but Ballard's 22 years of age, 21, 22. Ojo's 24. Phobe's 28. I think Phobe's in his last year of his deal. Ojo's on his, and obviously not going to get his opportunity at Liverpool. And maybe the same can be said about Ballard. There's 3 signings there that if we do it right and they would like being here, they could turn into permanent deals. And it kind of, it's not like getting a youngster in that will go on to better things and leave us. There's kind of room there to maybe do something in the future with them that could work for both parties.
Yeah, it's not like a Cardiff last year where they signed sort of like Harry Wilson, was it? And they probably knew it was only going to be a 1-year deal. I think that these players could turn into a permanent deal. Ballard, look at Ballard, Arsenal. They've spent 150 million £150 million, haven't they? And not really. Still think Ballard probably is a better option than some of their centre backs still. But they don't see that, which is perfect. We don't want him going back there. We want to keep him. So if they don't like him, that's absolutely fine. We'll have him because I think Ballard's done really well so far. And then Phobia, of course, Stoke don't want him either. They signed Sima. Yes, was his name Sima? Abdallah Sima from I don't know where he's from, but really another really good player. So they're spending money as well. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be a problem. I think there could be a chance of signing all 3. I'm not going to say we're going to, but obviously, got to be optimistic, haven't we?
I think sometimes when you make loan signings, you kind of know whether or not there's potential there to do a deal if they impress. Like you look at Malone committed after his loan spell, and I think there is a lot to be said about the likes of Ballard, Phobia, and Ojo. They're signings that, whilst they can offer something now, I think there's potential to do something in the future, which is not always the case with loan signings. And I think that's fair play to the recruitment team there for that one. I think that's all for we're going to say for transfers. Now it's up to Wright to get it all right, isn't it, Kai? In that sense, and mould this into the team that he wants. This is his vision. You look at that squad now. If I read the squad out just very quickly, actually, whilst I'm here, 1 second. So here's the Millwall squad in Hull, according to Flash Scores: Bielkowski, George Long. So now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep tally of Gary Wright signings. George Long, so Daniel Ballard, Jake Cooper, Sean Hutchinson, Ryan Leonard, Scott Malone, Danny McNamara, Alex Mitchell, Alex Pearce, Marlon Romeo, Murray Wallace, George Evans, Keithton Beld, Billy Mitchell, Shay Ojo, George Saville, Ben Thompson, Jed Wallace, Benica Phoebe, Mason Bennett, John David Varson, Tom Bradshaw, Conor Mahoney, and Matt Smith. There's 11 players in that list that Gary Wright signs. He's been backed since he's been here. I know he's been here, 2 full seasons almost now, but there are players in there that this is time for him to mould his squad together and make it work, I think, Guy. Yeah,
definitely. I think he started to get his own players now, the players that he would have liked. Just be nice if we could sort of just try and take this I'd love to see a 4-2-3-1, and if I did go 4-2-3-1, I think I'd go Bart. I think our strongest 11 personally is Bart, McNamara, Hutchinson, Cooper. I don't mind if you play Ballard while Hutchinson's out, of course, because Ballard's been fantastic. Then you go Malone at left back. I go with Saville and Leonard in the middle. Jed, Ojo, Bennett, or Jed, Bennett, Ojo, whatever, and then a Phobia up top. That's a really good, solid attacking team, in my opinion. And you've got 4 players there that can score goals. With Saville coming through from the midfield, Leonard can score goals. It's a really attacking team. I'd like to see him, go a little bit more attacking with this side, because I reckon it's got the potential to be really dangerous.
And yeah, and that's what highlights the squad for me. You missed out. I'm not saying they should be in the team, but you can make arguments for Keith Bell, Mitchell. Even Matt Smith up front. He's come in on Saturday and done a job. A lot of people will flatter to deceive with him, but you can say the same about a lot of players on our side. And I think that's credit to the kind of recruitment we've made, and the squad's coming along nicely there. And even Ballard's, you know what I mean? Like you said, Cooper and Hutchinson, but if Ballard's there, it's like you say, mate. I think competition's there, squad's there. I think this is why the pressure's on the manager, because you got fixtures coming up. You got West Brom away, Swansea away, Coventry at home, then you got Forest away, Bristol City at home, Barnsley away. This is time now to put a run together, I think, and just kind of show, all right, we're here now, and this is what we're going to be about this season. But we'll have to wait to see, mate, won't we? I think that wraps up part 1. We'll come back at part 2 just briefly to discuss our thoughts on the first 7 games of the season, and where we thought we would be when we thought rewind it back to the start of the season. So we'll be back shortly. And welcome back to the second part of the show. As I said earlier there, we're going to be reviewing, shall I say, the first 7 games of the season, 5 in the league, 2 in the cup. Kai, Mill sit in the league table currently in 17th place, 5 games played, 6 goals for, 8 goals conceded, 5 points on the board. Averaging a point per game, which would see you at 46 points come the end of the season. Maybe just enough to stay up, but iffy kind of form, to be honest. What's your kind of impressions when you think about that? And obviously we're in the 3rd round of the cup, but what's your kind of review just briefly on the last 5 games in the league?
Need to improve, I think. As we, if we're going to go back into the first part, the player that he's brought in, Ojo, can help with that. Obviously the attacking and Bennett coming back, players coming back from injury will really help. Bennett, you've got Hutchinson, Danny McNamara. You've got all these players that are set to come back from injury, who are going to really help. But we need to be a little bit tighter defensively. I still think without Hutchinson, Ballard, Murray Wallace, and Cooper is a good enough 3 at the back if he is going to go 3 to keep clean sheets. So we need to tighten up a little bit there, and try and score a few more goals as well. 6 goals in 5 games. The Fulhams. I think Fulham might have even scored something like 15, close to 15. I mean, it's this. There's when teams score that many, it's hard to lose games. Unless you're,
With that point, and you're right, the top 3 teams have got the most goals in the league. Goals always win you games, of course, but it's not necessarily mean go gung ho. But Fulham's got 13 goals, 3 against. Good defence there as well. West Brom's got 12 goals, 4, 5 against. QPR's got 11 goals, 4 and 5 against as well. And what I'd normally pride Mill on as well is hopefully conceding less goals per game. As in, we've got 8 goals conceded in 5 games. And for us, that is a slippery kind of start, I think, because we've always said it, we're hard to beat. And it kind of brings me to that Cardiff game again. That's the kind of, I think, I look back on the games, QPR away, I feel like we was really unlucky not to win the game. Aside from a long shot from Rob Dickey and a little spell after that goal, I think, we weren't really tested by them. And then, fast forward to Blackburn at home, again, drop points. We should have won the game. So we could easily be sitting here with 3 wins right now, Kai. I'm not saying that's definitely the case. And it all goes really wrong against Cardiff, and after the Fulham game where we got outclassed. But that Cardiff game in particular sticks with me, 3-1 defeat out of the last 5 games. Being, out defeated, but also, outbeaten in the sense of just in the war of the game. And that was kind of like the sour note for me, They scored 3 set pieces against us, 3 headers, and that's for Millwall. That shouldn't be happening again this season for me.
No, I think that's the problem with the loss against Cardiff. We were just a little bit. We weren't up to our usual standards in the box with what you'd expect from Cooper, Murray Wallace, Ballard, all of them. I still think. Well, I saw some reports saying that Ballard still had a fantastic game there. So Ballard seems like the one bright spot every game. I think missing Hutchinson's big, especially with that leadership in the box. We seem to be conceding quite a lot of set piece goals right now. So Hutchinson, when he comes back, he probably starts to patrol a bit more better, and and get everyone rounded up and focusing them. Obviously, Blackpool goal was just was a bit comical, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, my uncle sat next to me, started laughing when they scored because he just said, "How have we done that?" Like Murray Wallace and Bart have just clattered into each other, haven't they? And then the guys got up and Bart's nearly even saved it. Still, he stuck his hand out and it's gone in. So yeah, that was just a bit of a poor goal to concede. Which against Blackpool, I still think we needed a little bit of a wake up call. To that goal might have even worked in our favour just to click us into gear a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that needs to improve. If it does, I think with the signings that we've made and the attacking threat we do have now, if he plays the right system and we attack well, then we could easily score a couple of goals a game, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I mean, look, first 5 games, 5 points out of them. I think, the Blackpool game, whilst I was quite negative after the game, and I probably still am a little bit now when I look back on it, we still got the job done. And I know it sounds stupid, but, it could easily have folded and, or just not really kind of, put the effort in to kind of win that game. But I think the sheer determination from the team in the end got us over the line. It was more relief, if anything, getting that win off our kind of our back, so to speak, and getting that first win in the league. I mean, yeah, Cardiff was definitely a low point for me. It's great to be back in football crowds, though, Kai, isn't it? We've missed this, and I'd hate to be talking about it after watching an iFollow. Instead, here we are talking about it on our stream, obviously, but we're in stadiums, it's taking the whole atmosphere in, and it's just the whole occasion. And I think that's probably why some people are so infuriated by the likes of Cardiff away, because we're there now. There's no excuses, not necessarily to win every game, but the effort, the will to fight, it's got to be there every game when the fans are there.
Yeah, it's been brilliant being back in the States. It's been fantastic. It's been just that first game back against QPR was oh wow, it was incredible. Jeb Wallace scoring and then running all the way back to celebrate with us. It just makes me smile, and I can see it makes you smile as well. It was just the whole day itself. It was fantastic. It's been brilliant being back in the stadiums, and they. And that's what we asked for. We asked for 110%. If we lose after giving 110%, then fair enough, But against Cardiff, I don't think we did that. And that probably was a disappointment, wasn't it?
That's it, 100%, mate. I mean, let's talk about, obviously, we're in the Cup third round against Leicester. That's still to come. A couple of good wins in there. I would say we'll talk about them, but, we'll gloss over them because we spoke about them in previous episodes anyway, and their Cup games in the EFL Cup no one really cares about. So we've got 6 games between now and the next international break in the league. West Brom away, Swansea away, Coventry at home, Nottingham Forest away, Bristol City at home, and Barnsley away. I'm going to ask you for prediction, actually. 18 points available. How many points will Mill have when we next sit down together after the Barnsley game in the international break there?
Okay, so what was it, West Brom? So West Brom, I reckon a point. That's one. Swansea... I'm going to go for.
I reckon we're going to lose at West Brom personally, just because their style of play is so unique and different.
No, they're brilliant. Yeah, they are brilliant.
And it's not even that it's like a pleasure to watch. It's just so up and at you that I don't know. It'd be a tough one, I think, personally, that one. But anyway, keep going. Swansea away.
I'll go 3 points against Swansea. I think we'll do it there. We did
4 points out of 6 right now.
It's optimistic, isn't it? It does sound quite optimistic. That.
You're going to back the home game, right?
Oh yeah, if we beat Swansea, we have to win that one. That's another 3 points
in a week. So that's more than we've got all season so far. But I like it. Yeah.
And then we've got after that
Forest away the week after.
Oh, because they're back. They're not doing great, are they, at the moment?
No.
But I'll go with. That's really difficult. Who we got last? We got Barnsley.
You got Bristol City and Barnsley after that.
We'll definitely lose Barnsley because we always lose Barnsley, don't we? So. Forest and Bristol City, I'm going to go with 1 win and 1 draw.
So we're sitting on 11 points out of 18.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be even more positive. I'm going to go a point against Barnsley as well.
Okay, so 12 points out of 18. Yeah. No defeats in that. Unbeaten, right?
It sounds crazy. It does sound crazy.
Did you say Forest game will lose, or we get a point there? You said we'll get a point, so we'll be undefeated.
Point, yeah.
Okay, actually, so we're not going to lose any.
Yeah, I think the one that is obviously is more obvious. I think not any team can beat any team in the Championship, so it's not an obvious defeat. But it's the one that you'd say that it's probably more likely we're going to lose is West Brom.
Yeah.
But if we get a point out of that game, that'd be fantastic. 3 and I'll probably celebrate all evening.
So 12 points out of 18 you're going for, yeah?
Yeah, I'll go for it. I'll back myself.
I reckon middle of the road, 9 out of 18 will stabilise the ship. I agree with you though. I think something's going to turn. I hope. I think West Brom could be a tough away day, but if you get that result at West Brom away, then you've got the Swanseas, the Coventries, and the Forests to come. We can get real momentum going, and hopefully that's something we can carry with us. I think we're typically good though. October, I feel like. So I think that's when we're going to get our run. I think we're going to get middle of the road, 9 out of 18 points. We'll be sitting on what's that then? 14 points after 12 games, 11 games, which I'll take. And I think it'll be mid-table form, but I think we'll kick on after that in October onwards. That's for me anyway. That's my prediction. And I think, but if we do get that victory at West Brom, if we did, then I'll be talking differently about it. The positivity would be through the roof. So
yeah, if we win West Brom, we're going up. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what changes everything, isn't it? A win against a team like West Brom, Fulham, Bournemouth, any teams like these, especially away from home, it just changes the mentality completely because everyone's on top of the world if we beat them sort of teams, and it changes the whole outlook. If we lose to them sort of teams, it doesn't really change because we're not expected to beat them. A point is a good result away at them sort of places. So yeah, I'll go for a point there, but a point I'll be really pleased with the point.
I'll take your positivity there as well, mate. You know what? You never know. 9 points out of 18 that I'm going to go for. I think we're going to have some tricky games, but also I think we're going to have some good away performances that makes us all happy and hopefully win a couple home games. There you go. I think that's what I'm going to say. But yeah, I think that's everything we've got for today, Kai. You got anything else you want to add into this episode? It's obviously a little bit of a shorter one, but international break, not a lot of games to talk about at the moment. But anything you want to add
today? No, mate. Just apart from looking forward to West Brom, and hopefully Ojo can make an instant impact.
Love your positivity, mate. I love it. If you're new around here, guys, and you're watching on YouTube, be sure to give this video a like. Subscribe if you're new. If you're listening on audio, be sure to leave us an audio review. Obviously, we much appreciate it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And yeah, I think that's everything from me. I think obviously subscribe to us, check out our YouTube, check out our audios, like I said, and check out our social pages, That Mill Pods. Check out the website, thatmillpodcast.co.uk, and we'll probably be back on Sunday for another international show. Maybe something different, a bit of a debate, but yeah, we'll be back. Nice one, guys. Thanks for listening, and see you soon.